Headband was Chris Bailey on vocals and bass, Joff Bateman on drums and vocals, Mauri Berg on guitar, who wrote most of the music and was just an amazing guitar player. And I just played keyboards in those days and wrote a bit of music. They wouldn't let me sing. It was wonderful. This is where it all began, about 1974. 40 years ago, it was very different. For a start, it was always packed with people, and there was the tunnels outside, and this place is called the Cellar. We used to have a stage over there, and 12-piece band, bar out the back there. Used to be an audience of a few hundred people here. These tunnels are hundreds of years old. Used to belong to the old Lion Brewery before it became a hotel. They used to actually make beer down here. For a while there was a big grand piano here, and I played here for about 5 years, and being the resident musician, they then asked me to get a band together for the different rooms and different functions. So that's when I got the idea of putting together the Mount Lofty Ranges, because the Mount Lofty Ranges is the hills that goes all around Adelaide, circles Adelaide. Back in the day, we used to split the band up sometimes into travelling violin players, guitar players. We'd be in the cellars like this, there'd be hundreds of people sitting around. We'd have sax players, violin players, guitarists come up and all do a little bit. Then eventually they'd move up to the big room there and we'd join the big band. Back in those days, everybody used to smoke cigarettes, so the place was very smoky because it was downstairs and the smoke used to stay here and hang in the air. So these were thought of as the smoky cellars. And it was all very avant-garde and very different. No other place in Adelaide like it. The tunnels were very dark, very smoky, very atmospheric. And when we played music here, it used to be definitely loud. So this is where we used to sit and discuss things and have a little rehearsal occasionally. Sometimes for 6 to 8 hours a day, just rehearsing, learning all this original material. And once we'd learned it, we'd come into these rooms and play it at night time to the public. Well, the musicians were made up of basically whoever wasn't working that night that was really good. Well, we mixed it all up, so the music was a mixture of all sorts of music. We used to go on all day, all night. Some of the sessions we had here used to go till dawn. So we'd start at midnight and go right through to breakfast time. We were managed by a guy called Hamish Henry, who was a young millionaire who got involved in the pop scene. And he bought 4 clubs, headquarters east, north, south and west in Adelaide, one on every corner, and put live bands in there every night. He brought over people like Jeff St. John, Wendy Sunnington, Chain, and then he put on Fraternity and Headband with those bands as well. Yeah, we did the recording in Sydney at EMI, and it was one of the most expensive albums ever made at the time, and the guy who financed Phonogram Records, I think it was amazed because I think we only sold about 2,000 copies. It was too avant-garde for the general public, but it was a great album. We were proud of it. Well, Hamish actually took Fraternity and Bond to England for a little while. Part of what Fraternity did was a little tour in Europe, in Germany, and they would have done probably the American bases there. The soldiers who were waiting to go to Vietnam, they'd like to hear a bit of jazz and blues and soul music, and they didn't do very well and they came back. Well, we started off with a couple of hundred people here and they got popular very quickly. It was Soon 200 turned into 500. And then there was people from the Festival Theatre were coming here and they're going, oh, this band's good, we'll put them on at the Festival Theatre. And then we were doing supports for Elton John and people like that. So it just snowballed from here. And also there's pop festivals like Mike Ponga, Fraternity played that one. So it's a constant hotbed of creativity and a spectrum of getting original Australian rock, folk, country music down. And this was the place where it all happened.